All right, viewers. So we are the final stage of our show, and it's been quite a trying day. We brought you a bit on driving, a bit on car maintenance, and it's now time to talk about issues regarding our roads. We have Eskin behind in the background taking care of stuff, the cameras and sound, and I have here with me Timothy, a friend, and my big brother, Uncle Dan, who are all proud car owners, just like myself. We all use our cars, we love our cars, we get on the road up and about. So what are we going to be hitting on today? It's an issue I think deserves some addressing. Guys, road ramps. I want to go on about my personal experience, and I think, as I say, I think it needs addressing. A few months back, I took a trip to Asimfusu, and in and out, what I experienced was so many ramps on the road. Of course, yes, fair enough, ramps are there to slow down traffic and, of course, to save lives. But I just couldn't help, feel that there were far too many ramps on the road. And I think with the construction of some of these ramps, we are okay with the nice sloping, ins and outs of a ramp. But then, some of them was like, the ramp is so sharp, you go over it, it scrapes your car. You're going real slow, it's damaging the car. I think something can be done about it because in this episode, we have inserted a segment where I took some footage of Valco Hall, that's on the UCC campus, and what they've created over there is something I believe, personally, can be duplicated elsewhere and will slow down traffic and will save lives. What am I talking about? I'm talking about barriers which exist on roads and slows down traffic. It's not necessarily engaging the whole road, but it takes a little bit of part of the road and it creates this kind of zigzag motion of traffic so that it's, makes traffic slow down. And of course, once traffic slows down, you're not going to be racing through and knocking people down. So before we really kick off talking about, those barriers, your car users, I want starting with you, Timothy. What is your experience with ramps?
Yes, we do all drive, and I had a quiet experience on these ramps that we're talking about. But what I think we should do, both we, the road users, and also I think the road safety commissioner, we should all practice and come together, is that sometimes if you consider the factors that comes into it when we are making these ramps.
Okay.
For example, is the height that we do set these ramps, and sometimes how many ramps that contains street lights, so that even through the night when you are driving, it becomes safer for you, the driver. Okay. Those factors, I think, must be considered. It's not about how many ramps that we can do. It all causes safety, but I think these factors must be considered so that I think all in assurance of ensuring the driver's safety of his destination that he or she is going.
Okay. Okay, nice. Uncle Dan, what about you? Have you had any experience with ramps? Are you for ramps? What's your say?
What I would say is, do we actually need speed ramps on our roads? I'm comparing this one to the other side of, let's say, outside. And if we talk about speed ramps, we don't see these things out there, but we see it more often here. Why don't we see them? It's because there's a measure in place that if it's a highway doesn't have anything to do with town driving. So assuming, let's say, this is you are going through Mankesim, when it gets to the Mankesim, to the township, there should be a bypass that will bypass the road. So if you want to go into Mankesim, then you use the inner roads. If you want to go outside it, then you use still on the highway, then you use the outer point. But what do we see in Ghana? You create a new road, you determine to make a bypass. Then the people, the citizens, or the people living in that area will turn themselves and come to face the road. Why wouldn't they be knocked down by road? And then when you take that aspect of it, see, this thing has to do with the authorities. Because, you see, all we need is, we always talk about people like, respecting rules, the regulations. You see? So if the rules or I set, when people know that they flout the rules, these are things that will happen to them. Nobody will actually decide to go by the roadside to go and sell or to go and even build closer to the road where he knows that those ones are. You and I know when you go out there, do you see any house close to the road and sell? No, you don't have it. It's so if anything, if there's any accident, it doesn't affect anybody. This one, there's accident, a car runs straight into somebody's house, which we see all the time. This ramp issue, my brother, look, because our rules, because there are no rules and regulations, or even if there is, we don't even enforce it. So people decide to build speed ramps. Why? If you have noticed, after construction of a road, then we go back digging the road, cutting through the road, and putting ramps. It means that the speed ramps is not part of the road.
Sure.
If it's part of the road, they will not finish and then come cutting and fixing ramps there. You go to certain places. Look, I was driving through Sunyani. I was going to Bibiani. Okay. And on my way, to Bibiani, do you know the car I used? Down.
Yeah.
And I went and I sat on a ramp. So I had to get people to come and lift the car.
It was that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad because as soon as I climbed, it sat on it. The tires were hanging.
And then, if I can just chip in and ask something. Some people go like, when you're going over a ramp, you should be able to zigzag a little bit. And
at that time, I didn't know. Okay. I didn't know that there was a ramp there. Because this is not a speed ramp constructed by... This is a ramp constructed by the people themselves. And that one, I don't know how they did it, but it's like they cut it. Yeah, it's like they cut a tunnel of a tree, put it down there, put some mat on it, sand and all those things to create it like that. So at the end of the day, when you just go climbing like that. So I climbed this thing and then boom, it landed straight up like that.
Wow. And people have to come.
Somebody had to come lift the back.
I see.
For the front to touch the ground so I could drive over.
Wow. See this. Let me even chip in this. Why even the zigzag at all? Is it that set ramps are not being created to our suit or what? Because before this thing happens, the cars that usually use in this country, most of it have these shallow tended areas and all those stuff. So I think, to the best of the knowledge, the thing should be created in such a way that these cars can match up with it.
That's exactly why I'm saying that. Because it is the people who created that ramps. There is no signage. So when I was coming back in the night, my brother, trust me.
This was the night?
Yes. No, it was in the night. It was in the night. So when I climbed and I sat on, I had to call the people. They had to come and help me and lift it. And they were laughing.
Exactly. And that hits up on the street light that we've been talking about.
And there was no light. There was nothing. There was no signage. There was nothing. So it was just the sun, or the clay or whatever that they used, which was reddish. And then, my light fell on it like that. And then, it fell on at a point that was so close. You see? So the next time when I was going, I had to use a bigger car.
Oh, wow.
That have height. And even that one, I had to go and climb a ramp. And I won't go far. Just on this Takoradi road.
Okay.
Have you seen this place? Is it Abransa?
Abransa? Is that after Atabazi? I'm not too familiar.
After no, that is after Commander Junction.
Okay,
yes, exactly.
On your way going.
Okay.
After Commander Junction, there's a shop, there's a cave, and then there's a cemetery.
Yes.
Before you brand it, okay, straight up to the people where they are, close to where the cemetery is. They did one there.
That's a recent one. It's been...
The people themselves construct. It was way before they went to construct the one that we see. The people constructed the ramp themselves. And
why should it happen like that? Why should the people do it by themselves? Is it like?
And I was telling you what.
Occurrences and all the stuff?
I'm telling you exactly what happened. They said a car knocked somebody down there, and then the assemblyman or whoever, whatever, they constructed that thing. People didn't know, nobody knew. So I was behind the bus. Behind the bus. A bus carrying the passengers of about 60. Now, when the guy got to the scene, and because he didn't know and it was late in the night, he just climbed the thing, and then the steer the guy lost control. He lost control, and the car entered the cemetery.
Oh.
I
hope no one got injured.
We have people injured. It's just that person was just that we didn't get dead. Not alone. I was going back and I met another car also. That one, I think it was a headlong. It was a headlong collision, because the driver coming this way also didn't know. This one also didn't know. So when this one jumped, it went straight into the other one. So I realized the bus was there. I didn't know what actually happened, but that one, I understand they said either the mate or the person sitting on the phone, the two people lost their lives.
Wow.
In that accident.
Wow.
Why? You see, when in a country where there are laws, why would somebody? See, this is sometimes it happens sometimes that you have to. Can this happen in the era of maybe Rollins and Co. and all those things? No. So why? What has changed? Politics. So people take the law into their own hands. If you come to arrest us, or if you do something, we will not vote for you. So they keep rather begging the people so that they wouldn't do. Yet the people will do them.
Yeah.
And it happens all more often. Cars are getting accidents here and there. The road ramp, because it is not the speed ramps are not because it is not one person, or it is not done by professionals. You realize that some of it, yes, is nice and neatly made. Some of them are so steep that you climb on it, and then
there's a whole new issue.
I have people break their sumps. In my situation, for instance, had it not been that the car, the sump, and everything is covered, I would have broken the sump. You see?
And another thing I don't get is this. Okay, before we even get, like I said, I'm thinking about those barriers I saw, but ramp after ramp, because I have a friend, and that was on UCC campus.
Yep.
And he was driving at night just like you. And it's like, with some of these ramps, if your headlamps or headlights are not really good, next thing you know is right in front of you. Is it so difficult for us to be able to mark them out like zebra crossings with a bit of white and black? I sometimes wonder why, I don't know if someone's going to go like, government hasn't got enough money to mark out ramps well, but I think it only makes sense that if there's a ramp out there, at least mark it with a bit of white so that we can see it from a distance.
Anywhere there's ramp, you realize that there is a signage that tells you that there's a ramp here.
Yeah.
Most of them either is falling off or they didn't place them there.
But Uncle Dan, if I can just, I can respect the fact that, have posts or signboards up. Yeah. But I think it also reinforces, because we are human beings. At times you are driving, you may be tired, people make mistakes and stuff like that. Is it too much to ask for a ramp to have a bit of it's a further safety measure? There's a bucket of paint you can slap on there.
Of course, as we are all saying, we've been all seeing it each and every other day. What I'm going to say is that after this construction has been made, there should also be some check and balances, which will know that, yes, always will put professionals on tools to do their work exactly. That is what it should be, because work will be done and there won't be any checkup that causes all these problems.
No.
That's what I'm saying, that roads are being constructed, and after the construction, that's when they come back. See, have you seen UCC?
Yeah.
Is it Amamumo where, I don't know, this area when you use that
the second gate of the Opo?
No, this road right here. Yeah, it's Amamumo, that area.
Yeah.
When you use the is it Heritage or something?
Heritage, yeah.
Opposite.
Yes, okay.
There's that road there. Okay, when you are using that road to get into UCC, they just tiled the road there.
Okay.
The next time I passed there, they started digging, they started cutting the road. Apparently, when I saw the people cutting, when I saw a portion being cut, what I asked myself is, why are these people doing this? The road that has just been tiled. Why are they cutting? Then I went further more, and then I saw that a ramp they started fixing a speed ramp in that area. So what I asked myself, why didn't you add this thing up to it so that they can do it once
and do it well?
And do it well, rather than constructing the road and coming back to come and cut and fix in ramps. And those ramps, the people fixing the ramps, are they professionals? Those are the things that the ones that they do the huge ramps. If you've ever used the road to Asim Fusu area, there's is it a Confuri or something? That's in a village.
That's the road.
There's a huge ramp there. When you get there and you don't slow down, it will carry you off because it is so steep that even when you climb, your front has to hit. So you have to just climb it easily. That is, but if you don't see, or when there's a car coming and gives you light and you don't see, what happens to you?
Not even all cars are proper to even get you slowly when they are climbing this ramp.
So the thing is that our I don't know whether the laws, either the laws doesn't work, or the people have taken the laws into their hands and then they are doing what they want.
But I think it's a bit sad that we have what's it called, Road Safety Commission on highways, and these are things I don't know. Somebody might sit back and say, "Oh, okay, well, we have our big men in their big cars with big tires, balloon tires. They don't experience the discomfort. But come on, surely by now, it's at times I don't know. Anyway,
the speed. See, these people. I remember I ever asked the regional director of road safety here in Western Region.
Okay.
This lady. Now, are you people part of constructing a road or designing a road? Are you people part of it? I said, to some extent, yes, they are. And I'm like, so do you put measures in place before the road is being constructed? Because if you are road safety and we are the road users and you are there for us, anytime they are constructing a road, you need to come in. You have to put your safety in place before the road is finally. And I quite remember, years ago, there was this reflectors, metal ones. You remember they were fixed on the road.
Yeah, and it helps you see at night.
It made driving so comfortable. At any point where you get, if it's a curve, you know that this is a curve. If it's a skip, you can see from afar because once your light falls on it, you see them. But all of it is gone off, and I don't know who was doing those contracts and stuff like this. I know.
So, Charlie, let me chip in this. Yes, we know road safeties are in charge of our roads and age users and everything. Yes, recently, this year, the president was to come to Cape Coast CCTU to, I think, verify something. And the question I put myself into is that within that few weeks, the whole Cape Coast was changed.
Of course, they go about painting, getting the place.
The road has been constructed neatly. Painters have done their work. Everything, everywhere. So the question I put myself, can it be done in such a way? Must we always wait on these people? So these are the questions that we can ask ourselves. If there's something that we can also do to support ourselves in these situations, we have to do as an individual.
Okay.
Don't forget that this you're talking about is done at where the road where the authorities will use. Those are the places that they try to. I remember I was going through a village or something, and I realized that I went some time ago and the road was bad. On my way coming, I realized that the road has been piped. So where I expect that the place should be rough, so I need to just take my time. I realized that I was just running on top of it, and I was like, why is the road changed? And when I stopped to buy a coconut, and I asked the people that, I passed there, but the road was bad, but it looks as if now it has been fixed. When did they fix this road? Making now is said, the president came to pass here to perform some inspection.
Exactly.
So it is only where the president passed, that they always go and patch.
So these are the perceptions that we have in mind, and it is killing us.
Okay, well, you know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping a lot of people are going to see this, what we are discussing, this episode. But then, I think we should move to the barrier thing.
Apart from the barrier, let me tell you one thing that I think that will interest a lot of people.
Okay.
See, you see Takoradi, when you pass, is a Keten Junction. In between Keten Junction and then to the Polytechnic, their annex, or where they call in Crawford Junction.
Okay, yeah.
That place, that place has been rough for years, for ages. And it's always like that. Even as I'm speaking right now. Meanwhile, this is on the main road where, international road. This is a road where people going to Ivory Coast, people going to Burkina and all those things, they use that place. That particular place causes traffic each time you get there. And, there's a highway, there's road engineers and all those people and those authorities and the regional minister and all, everybody proud that road. They know it. Yet, when you get to that and you realize that the cars chooses where they want to pass. So you coming from this way, if you know that if you go the other lane will help you, you move to the other lane. This one move to this lane. So for that particular area, there's nothing like keep to the left, keep to the right. Decide on where you think when you pass.
Nobody
controls the area.
Just everyone, do what you want.
That's why I'm just chipping it, because anybody, for the viewers and the listeners, they will know exactly where I'm talking about. Meanwhile, the authorities proud that road 24/7, but no one cares.
Okay.
So what kind of a country are we living in? A
question
lawless country?
Big question there.
People take salaries as that is their jobs. So what do? They wait till somebody loses his life. The life which you cannot bring back. Then when that is done, then they'll come and fix it.
Yet we call ourselves a rich country with rich resources.
That's debatable. Anyway, in order to wrap things up, Uncle Dan and Timothy. So, I saw these barriers in front of Balco Hall, and like I'm saying, I believe it slows down traffic. So I got thinking, well, these barriers have been made using metal, but personally, I've had an experience with using PVC pipes. You can use them to create so many different things. Do you think it would be an okay thing to do if instead of using because I'm thinking about in terms of cost. Now you go to a village and you have people putting fishing lines and all kinds of crazy ramps and things construct over there. What about if we were to educate people and say, okay, let's build these barriers using PVC pipes? They are very cheap. If your car hits it, it's not going to damage your car that much, as opposed to the Balco. What happens with the Balco Road in front of Balco Hall? Those are made from metal. You hit them, scratches your paint, causes your bumper more damage. I'm thinking, if we were to educate people and take it out there, PVC piping, you can still create that stand. Just a simple idea. Get the pipings together with a bit of L joints, T joints. It will stand, and you paint it yellow and black. People see it. Even if you knock the piping down, at least once you're coming down the road and you see there's something there, if there's an obstacle, I think any sane human being is going to slow down. What do you think about something like this? Do you think it can work?
So it could work.
Yeah.
It could work possibly. But let's also see it from this angle.
Mm-hmm.
The PVC can be used.
Yeah.
But is it understandable to we the users?
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's understandable, how many people are going to put these measures together?
Well,
because by the time you even cheapen this, the stress that each and every individual is going to get into before even accepting the situation that this is the problem that we have at hand and this is how we should go about it. We are all finding solutions though.
Yeah.
But we have made ourselves in such a way that we have put stresses on ourselves. Even when you want to go to office to register, to make a complaint and everything, the stress that they put individuals through wouldn't even injure you to do that. So it could be done, but it's all about understanding the situation and we coming together to solve the problem at hand.
Okay, but I like to think that on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 7, that this is something that can really work because it's not that expensive and PVC piping can be easily put together by anyone. Uncle Dan, let's wrap this up.
It's not, yes, like you rightly said, yes, it can be done, but ask yourself, who are going to man that barrier we're talking about?
Well,
Because
okay.
my reason is, we are talking about the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are talking about the main road, and we are talking about a stretch where people have to run fast speed to get close to that place before, and you realize that somebody, people, sometimes people, I wouldn't say people get drunk, but some people drive as if they are drunk. Somebody will come speed, and then when he gets there and sees that thing, he would like to swerve into the other lane, forgetting that there's a coming vehicle. So if there's nobody there, it will even cause a serious accident. If there is an official, maybe a police officer and stuff and things standing there, then they know that there's a police checkpoint. That is where they will. But when there is no point, there's nobody there, they will do what they want to do. They will run into people's lane, and then that will even be more disaster.
Okay.
So I think that basically what we can do to slow down this, since we cannot take off the highway from the authority, what we need to do is that let's put cameras. Let's put cameras in every town, every village that we get to that, because of course we can choose the bigger villages, not this small ones that is. Let's choose the ones that we think that they deserve the speed rounds and put cameras there.
I have to ask you a question there. I think speed cameras, when you go abroad, elsewhere, most developed nations, countries, on their roads, which of course are so much better than ours, have this speed camera set up, and it's hooked up to CCTV. And maybe someone might argue that it's a very expensive thing to do, but maybe in the long run,
it pays.
It can work. It does pay.
It pays. It pays itself.
But then maybe somebody might argue. I'm just saying, because I'm trying to, let's try and figure out why hasn't it been installed? Because CCTV should be around everywhere, but we don't have that kind of network or system in our city.
Do you know that the ones that we have here, do you know that it works? I am telling you, it works until something happens. Then they go pull it.
Okay.
But what I think should be done is that at every point, if it is central region, the people who are supposed to man that thing, they are supposed to control it.
Okay.
So we have to direct everything to where it's supposed to be. Then whoever is there, the IT people, you rotate them.
Okay.
So 24/7, it even checks as security. So 24/7, there's always somebody who is manning that thing. So when this one have to come to work and work for 8 hours, yours is to sit down, or even 4 hours, or let's see, whatever, yours is to sit down and watch. It's not one person. You get like 2 people sitting down and watching, so that so that the people will just be watching. If anything happens, quickly they take note of that thing that happened. Then quickly that thing can be sent that, hey, there's an accident here, or there's a robbery here. They can even serve as a check to be able to be telling the security agencies that, hey, there's a robbery here. The person has used this lane. The person has passed here. So we can be able to keep tracking. That one is the best. I mean, if you think that is expensive, trust me, you will get people jumping traffic and all those things. And as soon as it happens, by the time the person gets to the next camera or gets to the next police barrier, you have already reported that impound this car. So they get the person. He can arrest him. He pays. If he can't pay, he passes. They take the car.
Isn't it a bit difficult to be able to track people who abuse speed limits and stuff? Because why am I going like this? Because one thing I think affects such a system is that elsewhere your driver's license and your car details are tagged to a postal code, so they don't even need to go hunt around and chase you about and try and find your car. Once you violate the speed limit, they send you a bill through your post, and woe unto you if you do not settle that bill. I'm talking in terms of, maybe like robbery, anything that has to do with security threats and stuff, and that's what I'm talking about. But in terms of the car issue, we don't have it. I mean, in our system here, we are poor. So not everybody has car. Okay.
Somebody can go pick somebody's car. And then so it is that person's car that you need to go and pound. Or to use the person's drive plate to be able to know the owner of the car and be able to seize it. How many cars do we have? Some of the cars are even off the road. Yeah, they are plowing our road, and they don't even have documents to be able to tell. So these are the things that we need to get. But I am saying that, you see, once it happened, it starts from somewhere.
Yeah.
So we can start it this way. Maybe you get to Peru Junction, then you cross the red light. On your way to Accra, you think that you are in a hurry. So you cross, and the camera catches you. As soon as it captures you, because we have people 24/7 sitting by the camera, it is not that you come back and you come and pull it and then you come and go and look for the car that you have to. No. There is a security checkpoint there. So as soon as they get there, you just call them. Arrest this car, impound it. This car has jumped, and then straight up, it is there. You send the footage to the people there. They show it to you, master. You jump traffic.
Okay.
So
and it's not a hefty charge.
Yes, you start a hefty charge, and then if the person doesn't have the money to pay, you impound the car.
Exactly as
Let him go.
My boss is saying. I myself have had experience about that. I supposed to send goods to, I think, Kasua about 3 weeks ago, and it's a running good. So I wanted to get a car which has offload the goods and returning back. So if I pick a car from Cape Coast to Accra and the car coming back, it will cost me much. And I searched the driver, and he was telling me that the car is free to go, but he won't pick the goods. I asked him the reason, and he was telling me that his car has been tagged with a certain
precisely.
Yeah, precise. So if he picks the goods, it will be known by
there's a tracking device.
There's a tracking device. Exactly as I'm saying.
So when you pick load, it will give it load.
Yes.
So
you see, one more thing I want to hit on is that the driver is well paid, is comfortable with the job, so he don't want to do anything which will affect the company or even to he himself.
Yeah.
Exactly what I'm saying. If things are being checked up in this manner and workers are being well paid, I think all these experiences that we are having will come to an end.
Okay, here's another angle. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, for your views. Uncle Dan, thank you so much. As always, a pleasure anytime I do stuff with you, Timothy. Thank you. And viewers, well, we've heard it from our team over here. We brought up issues. I think we'll love to know what you guys think out there. And we are putting, of course, contact information is you're going to find it at the bottom of the screen. Write to us. Let us know your inputs. What you think about our ramps. If our suggestions make sense, we welcome all your views and stuff like that. So at this stage, we're going to call it a day, and that is it for this episode of Dat-Kar Show. And we hope you've enjoyed everything, and we are looking forward to the next episode, and we are praying to God Almighty that you join us, and you have everything on point and all that. So guys, as always, it's been a pleasure, and peace, stay safe, and see you another day.